Say good afternoon. Continuing in today's Mishna Yomi, Maseches Megillah, Perek Gimel Mishnah Vav, and Perek Daled Mishnah Aleph. Chapter 3, Mishnah 6, Chapter 4, Mishnah 1. Perek Gimel Mishnah Vav, B'Chanukah B'Nesim. In Chanukah, Mishna Yomi, we read the Parsha of the Nesim, the offering of the tribal princes by the inauguration of the Mishkan. This, in fact, is our daily Torah reading each and every day. Purim, Vayavo Amalek. In Purim, we read the section of Vayavo Amalek, which details the attack of Amalek against Klal Yisrael when we left Egypt. Of course, again, the idea being that Haman was from Amalek, and so we read that particular Torah portion. On Rosh Chodesh, we read the section in Bamidbar detailing the sacrificial service of Rosh Chodesh. Going back to Maseches Tainis, we learned that on the Ma'amados, which remember again, that we learned earlier on, which was the gathering of Yisraelim in their respective towns, B'Ma'aseh we read the Genesis narrative, B'Tanios, Brachos, Uklalos. And on fast days, we read the Brachos enclosed, the blessings and the curses that is found in Vayikra, also known as the Tochacha. In general, we don't stop an aliyah in the middle of a section of curses. Rather, one person reads that entire aliyah. On Mondays and Thursdays, Shabbos Mincha, Korin Kisidron, Ve'in Open Lahan Minacheshvan. So again, on Mondays and Thursdays and Shabbos Mincha, we read the regular Parshas HaShavua. And ultimately, Ve'in Open Lahan Minacheshvan, which means, interestingly enough, that halacha l'maisa, what we read on Mondays and Thursdays in Shabbos Mincha, doesn't count towards the year-long obligation of Torah reading. In other words, that when we complete the circuit of Torah reading, that's really based on the Torah readings of Shabbos itself. Mondays, Thursdays, Shabbos, Mincha don't count towards that. Shneimar, Vaydaber Moshe es Moadei Hashem al Bnei Yisrael, Mitzvasin Shiyukorin Kol Echad Ve'echad B'Zman. So now the Mishnah jumps back. So remember, the Mishnah was teaching us before that essentially on every Yom Tov or every occasion, we read a Torah reading that is specific for that occasion. Where do we know that from? Based on the pasuk, Moshe said, Moshe spoke out as Moadei Hashem al Bnei Yisrael, the appointed times, the Yamim Tovim of Hashem to the Jewish people. What does that teach us? Mitzvason shikorin kol echad ve'echad bizmano. There is a mitzvah that ultimately, again, we should read each specific Torah portion corresponding to the particular special event. Beautiful Mazel Tov on completion of Perek Gimel Maseches Megillah. Now leads us to Perek Daled Mishnah Aleph. Hakoris Megillah Omi Diyoshev. A person can read the Megillah sitting or standing. Kara Echad Karu Shnayim Yatsu. If one person read the Megillah, or even if two people read the Megillah, ultimately, again, you're Yosef. The Gemara discusses what's interesting about that is that generally we say Shrei Koli Lo Mishtamoi. Two voices cannot be heard at once. So the Gemara explains, however, when it's something that's very special to people, they strain themselves to be able to hear it. Makom Shinag Levarich Yivarich. If you live in a place where the minhag is to go ahead and make a bracha after reading the Megillah, you make a bracha. But if the minhag is not to make a bracha after reading, you don't make a bracha. It's clear from the Mishnah that everyone made a bracha prior to reading the Megillah. On Mondays, Thursdays, and Shabbos Mincha, we read 3 aliyos. You cannot add on any more than 3 aliyos, nor should you read any less than 3 aliyos. Ve'ein maftirin benavi, and there is no haftorah that is read on those days. Haposeach v'achosim hatorah, the person who goes ahead and begins the aliyah, ends the aliyah, mevarich lefaneha ula achareha, goes ahead and makes a bracha in the beginning and in the end. So remember, the Mishnah over here is actually reflecting the original custom of Kriyas HaTorah, where the person who was called up for the first aliyah would make the bracha, the first bracha, Asher Bachar Banu, and then the person who received the last aliyah would go ahead and make the bracha of Asher Nasal Lanu Toras Emes after the conclusion of the last aliyah. Of course, again, our contemporary practice has changed, and now we make the bracha before and after each of the aliyos. Shkayach, everyone, will stop over here, wishing everyone a good Shabbos and a lifted Chanukah, and of course, a good Chodesh as well.